This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. With the government set to request another extension of the state of emergency in St. James, the opposition People's National Party has signaled that it will be the last one it supports. The House of Representatives in January approved the extension of the state of public emergency in St. James until May 2. And last month extended the measure in St. Catherine North Police until July 3. Opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips, who spoke at a media briefing Thursday morning, argued that the state of emergency powers were not intended by the framers of our Constitution to be employed over a lengthy period of time. Dr. Phillips said the opposition wants to see a clear-cut plan of action that will ensure normal policing containing areas of crime and other parts of the country. More than 17,000 persons are eligible to vote in today's by-elections in the Mapen North Division in Clarendon and Yallis Division in St. Thomas. Voting will take place in 61 polling stations across the two electoral divisions. There are 8,286 registered voters in Mapen North and 9,145 in Yallis. In Mapen North, it will be a race between the People's National Party's Earl Blake and the Jamaica Labour Party's Tanya Lee Williams. For the by-election in Yallis Division, the PMP's Constantine Bogle and the JLP's John Lee are the candidates. Jamaica Manufacturers Association's Deputy President Richard Pandoe says the results of the Jamaica Trade Expo 2018 was very inspiring. He says he is encouraged by the high participation of young entrepreneurs.
Normally in the past, what you saw was a lot of exchange of business cards, and people come on, oh, this looks good, let me get a card, let me come. People are cutting deal on the floor. We saw the sweet lady Aaron's, former media lady. She sold containers to two different countries on the floor. We saw other companies selling closing deals on the floor. We had 35,000 Jamaicans passing through 690 buyers from 26 countries, the biggest we've ever had.
Mr. Pandoe, who is also CEO of Separate Group, says despite the promising interest in youth investment in Jamaica's economic development, more support is needed.
We need to make sure the government keeps the policies aligned to the growth agenda. I mean, it's one to talk about growth, but you have to put policies and structures in place to encourage young people to foster them. And I mean, I want to give a lot of credit to Butch Hendrickson. He has a program called the Bold One, where he takes very micro and small business and take them to the next step. One of his mentee company, if I can call him that, is about to list on the Judah Stock Exchange. One of them sold their first set of container export at the expo. So good things happening in this country.
The Trade Expo, which ran for 4 days, it ended last Sunday, was opened to hundreds of people, mainly buyers and sellers, at the National Indoor Sports Center and the National Arena, under the theme, Advancing Breakthroughs. Final year students at the University of the West Indies, Mona, want more time to clear their school fee balances. They are appealing to the institution's administrators for more time to clear their balances so as to avoid deregistration. The deadline for payment is today, and many are currently on edge over the prospect of ultimately being unable to sit their examinations, which, for many, begin next week. Last year, the UWI faced widespread backlash after reports emerged of anxiety among some final year students who were barred from sitting exams due to outstanding balances, forcing the government to intervene and allocate money to the institution, as well as two other tertiary facilities, which should have been paid in September 2017. Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation has been invited by the mayor in the city of Gibraltar to consider a twinning arrangement between cities. Mayor of Kingston, Senator Delroy Williams, has said that the proposal from Mayor Mrs. Cain Aldrino Lopez came to his office in February and that the timing could not have been more perfect, as Kingston is celebrating 145 years as the capital of Jamaica. According to the KSAMC, Kingston was home to more than 1,500 rebellions In the 1940s, during World War II, when the British territory was evacuated and fortified. The refugees were housed at Gibraltar Camp at the University of the West Indies. Mayor Williams says October of this year marks 77 years since Kingston was sanctuary to people from Gibraltar and is a very opportune time for twinning of both cities. Williams said that the request from the office of Mayor Alderino Lopez demonstrates that the kindness of Kingston over the years has not been forgotten. Her Excellency, the Most Honorable Lady Allen, has been installed as a patron of the Friends of the Bustamante Hospital for Children. Her Excellency, the Most Honorable Lady Allen, has led a distinguished career in the fields of healthcare and education and continues to care for humanity, especially children and the most vulnerable, through charitable engagements. She told those gathered for the formalities this week that the Friends of Bustamante Hospital for Children is dear to her heart.
Friends, like the Friends of Bustamante Hospital for Children, have spent the last 55 years doing the little things that are needed to fill the gap at Bustamante Hospital when it matters most. This is an organization that I am proud and pleased to offer my patronage and my support. The list of accomplishments of the Friends of Bustamante Hospital for Children are many and include the construction of physical structures such as the intensive care unit, the establishment of Ward 3 to accommodate the burn unit, and re-roofing after Hurricane Gilbert in 1988.
The Friends of Bustamante Hospital for Children is a charitable, not-for-profit organization dedicated to providing assistance to the patients and staff of the Bustamante Hospital for Children. They were established in 1963 by a group of individuals from various backgrounds and profession. In regional news, we look to Trinidad and Tobago. Prime Minister Dr. Heath Rowley has reiterated his administration's position regarding the repatriation of 82 Venezuelan nationals last week, stating that the Tun Island Republic adhered to the highest standards in handling the matter. During Thursday's post-cabinet press briefing, the Prime Minister expressed concern over the misinformation currently in the public domain and said that he intends to formally complain to the United Nations about comments made by representatives, adding that there is a legal process that needs to be followed in Trinidad and Tobago by all potential migrants. The Prime Minister also said that the assistance provided was what could be afforded. He noted that as the situation in Venezuela deteriorates, more and more persons have been entering the Tun Island Republic. Regional countries are being warned to proceed with caution while working to decriminalize marijuana. It comes from Executive Director of the Caribbean Public Health Agency, Dr. James Hospitalis.
Using those kinds of public policies, consideration has been given to the full range of impact. Because we don't want that, okay, you've solved the problem, so to speak, of reducing the burden in the judicial system and the prisons and so on, and you create a great surge in increases in mental health admissions for marijuana addiction and other addictions. What I think needs to happen is that there should be strong public education concomitant with decriminalization if governments proceed along that route. There needs to be proper monitoring of the impact of these policies.
In sports, Jamaica will be well represented in today's 3 championships of American finals on today's second day of the 124th Penn Relays Carnival at Frankenfield, Philadelphia, with defending champions Edwin Island, Hydel High, and Homewood Technical all advancing. Homewood Technical qualified in all 3 finals, the 4x100 meters, 4x400 meters, and 4x800 meters. Edwin Island High and Hydel High are in 2 finals after yesterday's opening day. The Jamaicans will be seeking to repeat last year's feat, where they won all 3 championships of American titles. Edwin Allen won the 4x100 meters, Heidel in the 4x400 meters, both in record times, and Homewood Technical in the 4x800 meters. And that's the news. Do stay with us. The weather report is next. This is PBCJ's weather report. Thanks so much for staying with us. Let's start with our local currents. In Kingston this afternoon, we're seeing the temperature between 25 and 28 degrees Celsius. We're also seeing sunny skies with a little bit of cloudy conditions forecast for today across Kingston. We're seeing cloudy skies forecast for this evening as the sun sets at 6:33 p.m. Let's take a look at Montego Bay, St. James. This afternoon, the temperature is just about 31 degrees Celsius, so it's pretty warm out, even though we're seeing a forecast of possible showers going into this evening. We're seeing that the temperature is set to go down to just about 14 degrees Celsius. And across the island, we're seeing temperatures between 28 and 31 degrees Celsius. Pretty warm out today. We're seeing a forecast of cloudy conditions and some rainfall. We're seeing rainfall over there in St. Thomas, and we could be getting some rainfall in Clarendon as well. In our forecast across the weekend, we're seeing temperatures between 28 and 31 degrees Celsius. A forecast of possible showers over there in Oterias, Negril, Montego Bay, and Golden Grove, St. Thomas. We're seeing that cloudy conditions are forecast for Kingston as well. And in our Caribbean forecast for tomorrow, we're seeing temperatures between 26 and 29 degrees Celsius across the Caribbean. We're seeing forecasts of cloudy skies for the Central Caribbean. We could be getting some rainfall across the eastern end of the Caribbean, and we're seeing possible rainfall forecast for Nassau, Bahamas over there in Havana, Cuba as well. Let's go further afield now to the United States. Let's look at our travel planner. Tomorrow, we're looking at Los Angeles, Miami, New York, and Atlanta. We're seeing warm temperatures forecast for the weekend with a high 32 degrees Celsius. We could be getting some rainfall in New York. Pretty sunny skies for Atlanta and Los Angeles. And that's it for the weather report. Thanks so much for once again making it PBCJ. I'm Simone Absalom. Have a pleasant weekend.